Welcome back to your favorite podcast, A Couple Pints Pod.
Hey,
Okay, that was it. That was my big joke.
episode.
Episode, who gives a shit? 83 for those keeping count.
Dude, remember when we'd start off with this is episode such and such of
And it was
Couple Pints?
always wrong, and that's why I stopped doing it.
Always. We were always off.
I mean, I'm still usually off.
We consistently make up for our losses, though.
Yeah. We're getting good at covering our shit up.
We're moving. We are the tortoise. We're moving slow and steady. We're winning the race.
Okay, just turn it down.
Never.
All right, yeah. This week we're zooming again because I got my booster shot and fucked up our in-person plans. So my apologies, Mike and Will. I don't know. This week though, I'm kind of
This is
amped up on the topic.
interesting.
This is a Colin special.
Well, this is a me special, but if you watch last week's video, we mentioned it.
Well, you mentioned it, and I was like, "What?" And then we just kept talking about whatever the fuck we talked about last week.
Oh, that's right.
What was last week?
Right.
Oh yeah, the super secret
Super
soldier whistleblower automata Pia.
Super soldier.
Still, no one has contacted us, so I'm a little bummed out about that.
Good amount of views, though. We appreciate all of you who watched it.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Thank you so much.
Anyway, you introduce it because it's your baby, and then I'll introduce the juicy shit once we're into it.
Okay. Yeah, baby. Little juicy. So last week,
Also, sorry I'm sitting so seductively. I'm not
I was
sorry.
gonna say, are your legs spread apart? Are you wearing
No,
pants under
they're
that?
actually very close together. What? No, I'm wearing pants. Look, sweatpants.
Oh, okay.
Gray sweatpants.
My boy's packing heat. So we brushed on it. We lightly brushed on it like we're painting a baby's crib.
A delicate
Brush stroke right across.
okay, sorry, go.
What? I can't say breaststroke is a swimming motion. But if you're
No, I was trying to be funny and I failed. So continue.
Okay. Well, this one guy in the video that JMac and I watched let out this awesome barbaric, in my opinion.
Could have been a better line than I fucking love fingerling potatoes. It might potentially be the best line of 2022.
This guy lets out a nice, solid,
Belts it out.
Believable to the core.
Like a fucking opera singer. Sorry. Okay, sorry.
At the Travis Scott concert, people were infected by Nano-Bot mosquitos.
Just unprompted.
Out of the blue, lets that one on the crowd. Not a
But also,
single person.
he didn't say it as classy as you just said it.
Oh, no, I want to give it some class.
Like he just kind of grabbed the mic and was like, "At the Travis Scott concert, people got infected by nanobots."
I want to tell all of you in the crowd right now.
Yeah, it was really weird. How's that koozie staying there? I'm impressed.
Physics.
Dude, oh shit, we both got merch on. What up?
Oh shit, we do. That's right.
Before we talk about skeets, go get your merch. Except these are sold out because I gave them all away because no one bought them. Anyway, so homeboy screamed that out, and then
that led me to really want to look into it because how the hell do you come to that conclusion unless you've read or seen something? And I found something.
Or you're a super secret space soldier.
Oh, that's right, because you would know. Obviously, you would already know.
You did find things.
We're gonna some fun things.
We're gonna start off non-nano-robotic, but we'll get there eventually. So let's talk about what you found in the genetic department, and then we'll move into nanotech and the potential extinction of all humanity.
Possibly. The transgenic how would you pronounce this? AEDES.
Wait, I'm getting there. The word after it is more confusing. I would say honestly, 80s.
Yeah, transgenic Aedes aegypti mosquitoes transfer genes into a natural population.
I'm gonna look it up while you talk.
But they aren't any random genes. The genes the mosquitoes had were created in a lab thanks to scientists. As they were in their tiny little larva form in the egg, they gave them a nice little combination that would allow them to glow under a certain light so scientists could track them in the study when they went out to the wild to find them. And wow.
Aedes.
Aedes.
Why'd that come out
Aedes.
of my computer? I have headphones on.
Aedes.
Wait, let's see how you say the next one. Aegypti.
Oh, I was pretty close.
I mean, it makes sense. It is just Egypt with an A at the beginning and an I at the end.
Look at
Aedes
us.
aegypti. How do you say it in Spanish? Ooh, that's more fun.
Ooh.
Okay.
I like that.
Continue.
Okay, so let me find
So you were on before fucking Google Translate rudely interrupted you. That
before I go any
they
further.
genetically modified larvae. And at first, when I heard that, when you said it to me with no context until you sent me this article, I was like, that's scary.
Very
Because I
scary.
immediately thought of like bio warfare and like new diseases as,
Yeah, no. They're luckily only giving them a little dye when they're in the egg, so they glow under a certain light.
so
But
they
what
know
else they
which
give
ones
them?
are modified.
That's right. But before I go any further, I want to give credit where credit is due. This is by Evans et al. It was done in 2019. If you want to look, here's the reference page right here.
Wait, which fucking one is that?
Oh, this is just the reference where it gives credit to everyone that helped work on the project, or I mean the article that they were doing,
Oh,
the
okay.
research, I should say.
Gotcha.
And then here's this itself.
Is that the
Woo!
MSN one? That was the other thing, and why I was like, yeah, fuck yeah, let's do it. Because everything you sent me was actually like a somewhat
Backed up,
reliable
dude.
news source.
It's been so long since I've just stumbled. Well, it's been a while since I looked so hard to find some sort of scientific paper on this or some sort of research paper on this. Found it. Found one.
Found it.
So, where did I leave off? Oh, yeah, how they got them to glow under the light. But I want to.
But that doesn't matter. I'm trying to get to the overall point of why we're talking about this. They glow under the light so they know which ones they released versus ones that are
Yeah.
actually in the wild. But the science behind it is really fucking cool.
Now we're back on track. What they gave them, they called them the F1 group. And what they gave this group was a mixture that pretty much made the males unable to breed. So they would no longer spread, and any disease the mosquitoes were carrying in the area would hopefully die off with the colony.
Wait, which article are you reading?
The transgenic Aedes aegypti mosquitoes one.
I don't know if you sent me that one, but the MSN one with the genetics and Mr. Gates says researchers have bioengineered male Aedes aegypti mosquitoes to mate with the wild female population. Females are known to bite their prey and cause dengue and malaria. The
Got ahead of myself.
genetically engineered males carry a gene that passes to the offspring and kills that gene within the females if it's a female offspring in the
So
early
excited.
larval stages.
So excited. I got ahead of myself.
The male child won't die, but they'll continue to possess the gene that will pass on to future generations. With the death of female mosquitoes, the Aedes aegypti population is expected to drop considerably, which means malaria and dengue will drop considerably. That's the cool shit.
That is.
They're literally gene splicing fucking mosquitoes. To stop disease.
Did you read approximately how many and for how long they were releasing these things?
Oh yeah, that was crazy too.
450,000 males with the strain were released each week for 27 months.
Yeah.
That's insane.
And then on the other article, since we're on two different articles, it says the lab that did this, Oxitec, expects nearly 20 million mosquitoes to emerge over a period of 27 weeks.
Yeah. So if what I'm reading, if this was back in 2019, what do you? I'm excited to see where they're at now with this.
Dude, the one I'm reading is May 5th, 2021.
That's even. e- Oh, they got to be so close to doing some insane, amazing stuff
I mean, they're already doing insane, amazing stuff because these mosquitoes are out there in these affected areas,
out there and
which
being
is
eradicated.
Brazil, Malaysia, Panama, and the Cayman Islands, because that's where it's the worst.
Being
They
eradicated.
weren't approved in the US, but they are now. So they released some in Florida, the Florida Keys, where these mosquitoes apparently exist. Also, side note, once you learned about malaria and shit in like elementary school or whenever you learn about it, were you unnaturally terrified that you were going to get malaria? Because it was like
Yeah.
a big fear for me. I was like, well, I'm fucked, can't go outside anymore.
Yeah, for a little bit, I was a ninja master when a mosquito would land on me. Not even giving it a second to blink.
Well, it's like the fucking Bermuda Triangle. Like, have you seen that meme that's like, I worried way too much about the Bermuda Triangle as a kid?
Oh my god. That place, that was also another one of the first freaking conspiracies that I ever got into.
True, yeah.
But here's a thought that just popped in my head while you were talking. If they're creating some sort of serum that is able to pretty much make the next, what would a
Generation.
generation, that's the word, I was losing it, make them sterile.
But they're not sterile. I don't know where you're
Well,
getting sterile from.
some of them aren't.
Well, that was what we were talking about before we hit record when you were saying that like now they're studying
Yeah,
out
there's a
of out
select
of these
few.
out of these 20 million or whatever mosquitoes, a couple of them like mutated against this gene splicing and now they're sterile, which only helps because also fuck mosquitoes. So like I don't care that some of them are sterile.
Other opposite way around. They're able to mate. They're trying to make them sterile so that way the population drops down.
Oh, okay.
And now that they broke the code or whatever it was because of how many the three mosquito races that made it together, they were able to bypass it and keep going.
Mm. You want to get into the other one because it's way fucking cooler.
It's not only way freaking cooler, but also the pure fact that they're able to do this direct science, this close science on mosquitoes?
I know that well, yeah. The
Mosquitoes?
gene splicing thing and that's why I think that's so cool. But then the other one you sent me, which is CNBC, which maybe to some of you is reliable and some of you it's not, but
Maybe, maybe not.
the article, the title, the title of the article, Jesus, is titled Mini Nukes and Mosquito Like Robot Weapons Are Being Primed for Future Warfare. Then
Ooh.
basically the article goes on to say that the US, Russia, and China are believed, which believed,
Quotations.
actually, let's put it in parentheses, believed
Yeah.
to be investing billions on nano weapons research. So the reason we ended up here is because instead of gene splicing mosquitoes to end deadly diseases, certain countries are investing billions of dollars into nano drones that look like mosquitoes and could like fly into a target's room and poison them or like that's like the main mosquito thing. But then the article goes on to talk about miniature nuclear warheads and fucking like
It's getting
the
out of
end.
hand.
The end is what got me. That was like, um, mini nuke. The end is what got me. That said, controlling these nanobots could become an issue since if lost, there could potentially be millions of these deadly nanobots on the loose, killing people indiscriminately.
Bro, that
Like
literally
imagine getting bit by a robotic mosquito that's like full of fucking cyanide, and then you just die.
on the spot just die. So, huh?
And then that's
What
something you
happened to
can't
him?
even genetically modify. And like in the world of robotics, it's impressive that they made something that small. But at the same time, it's so concerning because it's like if it also was talking about like black market sales of these things, like if a bad organization or like a some sort of mafia-esque group got a hold of these, and they're essentially untraceable. I mean, if a mosquito flew in right now, I would only know I got bit tomorrow when I wake up with a bug bite.
Yep, unless you catch it in the light or it flies by your ear before it lands on you, good luck.
I wonder how loud they are. Because when a mosquito
Either
gets up near you, you could hear it. But also if you're like drone piloting this tiny mosquito to go poison someone or kill a bunch of people, because then it talked about like water supply, and then they get
yeah.
into mini nukes that they could potentially eventually make these things small nuclear warheads and just like wipe out a skyscraper with a fucking robotic mosquito.
Well, it keeps making me think about that Solar Opposites episode. It's episode 2, was it season 1, episode 2, The Unstable Gray Hole? Justin Rowland come on our show where they put nanobots
So
where they put nanobots in the town water supply to gain knowledge on everyone in the town. It's undetectable in the water supply, just goes through, everyone drinks it, brushes their teeth. They poop, now they got pee DNA, poop DNA. They got all of it.
you like that show a lot more than I did. I don't really remember what you're talking about,
No, that one just
but
because
that's
I keep
but
thinking
that's
about
what's
Nanobot
scary.
Man.
We're talking about a sci-fi cartoon. This article was written in fucking 2017.
Oh, good Lord.
So now I can't imagine if it's even remotely accessible to the public, like
It can't
what
be.
they've actually done. Because we know now they've genetically modified mosquitoes for the betterment of humanity.
They
This
have that
article,
down.
this article that what now is 5 years old, I
Yeah,
think.
holy
Yeah,
crap.
is talking about we already have these nano robotic mosquitoes, and if they're used for, it literally says in the article, nefarious actions. The dude writing it, Del Monte, who wrote a book about the end of nano weapons, a growing threat to humanity, is the title of his book. Louis Del Monte.
Could be a little dangerous.
He's just like, yeah, if this gets out of hand, we're all fucked.
We are fucked.
And like I said, it's a huge achievement for robotics. But at the end of the day, like, oh shit, I just X'd out of everything. But at the end of the day, it's fucking terrifying.
Oh,
Because you know it's gonna get out of hand. Like, but it's like a fucking any movie ever.
a Cambridge University conference on global catastrophic risk found a 5% risk of nanotech weapons causing human extinction before the year of 2100.
Well, that's in reference to the nukes.
Well, yeah, but
And
if they're putting
five
reference to
percent
that
isn't
in nukes,
5% isn't that bad.
but if they're just putting that in nukes,
But if a nuclear World War III broke out, it's 100%. Like
but if there's a
nuclear warheads are
nanobot
just
going around
scary.
that can spread the Black Plague,
Oh, well, that would wipe us out way faster than
Exactly.
nukes.
So if they're
But
only taking
that's why
nukes
I
into
was saying
consideration,
that Cambridge University study, because I read into it after I read the article, is in like it's strictly talking about the nanotechnology of a miniature nuclear warhead.
so okay, shit,
But
bro, we gotta brainstorm.
the bio and chemical warfare, in my opinion, is way scarier than miniature nukes because we already have nukes. Who cares? Nukes are scary. We all know that. They're terrible. They're horrifying. But like you said, if you have a bunch of robotic AI fucking mosquitoes roaming around with some deadly ass shit in them and it gets out of hand, then what? I'm walking to work and I get fucking the plague or
I'm going
hit
outside on
hit with some lethal chemical.
I'm going outside for a walk with my dog, and the next thing I see is an ambush of a gang of mosquitoes controlled by some dude 1,000 miles away.
Well, also that's what scared me in the article was like eventually, especially with the way AI is growing, that's like the fear that they're talking about is like it getting out of hand and then these things that are programmed to kill targeting the wrong people, I guess, is what it talks about at the end.
Now, you think they're doing just a boatload of different nanotech projects, or do you think they've been going step by step, figuring it out along the way?
Well,
And do
I
you
mean, I think it's a boatload because this article talks about like three different types of nanotechnology. One are these tiny mosquitoes that exist that can be used to like assassinate people because you just fill them with a deadly chemical and then it kills them. And it even mentions, since this was so long ago, the assassination of Kim Jong Nam, the half brother of Un,
Mhm.
who got poisoned. So it's like it's still relevant. And then it goes on to talk about nanotech weapons like the mini nukes and things like that.
So you think there's
And
a
then it goes on to talk about AI bio warfare, which is
how
horrifying.
terrifying. Oh my god. So if they're working on it, there's scientists out there right now working on taking a nuke head and shrinking it down
It
to the
said
size.
it said the first prototype they have would be um well, first off, so small they're difficult to screen and detect, but then they'd be compact enough to fit into a pocket or purse and weigh about 5 pounds and destroy large buildings or be combined to do greater damage to a larger area. So that's what I'm saying. They're not at the point where nuclear mosquitoes are going to be flying around, but like someone could have a fucking nuke the size of their debit card and like eradicate a city block.
But from what I'm reading in this article, there has to be a scientist or a bunch of scientists out there or a huge ass team trying to do it right now.
Do
Trying
what?
to shrink a nuclear warhead down to that size to have either the impact of taking down a building or the impact to take a whole town.
Yeah,
There
well that's what it says. That it
and
that's
think of how dangerous that job is.
I mean it must exist if this dude Louis Del Monte wrote a fucking book about it.
Oh my
But
god.
the paragraph that got me was still, while the mini nukes are powerful in and of themselves, Del Monte expects they're unlikely to wipe out humanity. Del Monte
Unlikely.
Del Monte said a larger concern is the threat of nanoscale robots, meaning the mosquitoes we were talking about, or nanobots, because they are the technological equivalent of biological weapons. That's scary.
We've
And
gone
also, like, the whole time we've
so
been
far.
talking and the whole time I was reading all this, like, why do we need that?
Yeah, why are we working on? Why are we spending tens of billions of dollars on this shit when you can log on to the internet right now and look at and type in the U.S. debt counter or U.S. debt toll and just watch it keep fucking spinning.
Well, for me, it's not even about the money. Cause like we know we're fucked monetarily, but like
Well, if
if we
that's the
can
case, if we know we're fucked,
if we
then
can
why
wipe
not?
if we can wipe out entire nations and multiple nations are capable of that, then why do we need robotic mosquitoes to kill people? Just send in fucking SEAL Team 6. We've done it.
Everything's going robotic, bro.
And then some fucking war dude somewhere is like, but the human risk factor, like, well, they signed up for it. We don't need out of control AI nano mosquitoes killing people.
That's the
That's
route
a
they're
bit
going.
much.
They're working on nanotech for soldiers, putting it in the suits.
Okay,
It is going
but
a
like that,
full AI route.
but like that shit's cool. Like the whole exoskeleton super soldier, but it's a human, so it has the consciousness to like make proper decisions. That's okay. That, like, to me, that's cool. Do I support war and all that stuff? No. But like
That's the first
when
step to
it's
making those with no human inside, though.
but that's what's scary. There's
That's why
no
I'm terrified.
yeah, there's no consciousness, there's no like ethical decision making. It's a computer that teaches itself what works and what doesn't. And that's what's scary.
Oh, ooh. Dude, imagine being a soldier, taking a shot, a headshot at that suit. The head explodes. You're like, yeah, got him. He's down. Next thing you see is that thing pop back up and its arms and legs open up and rockets are launching out of that thing.
Yeah, I mean
And it's just a killing machine.
it's like Terminator and Iron Man had a fucking baby.
And we are working on suits that put on soldiers that can do that stuff.
Okay, that's scary.
What? I mean, I may be completely wrong, and we're nowhere close to that.
But
But if we're working on what we're talking about in this article,
at least you can see a heavily armed person in a suit coming at you. Like I said, if a mosquito flew in right now, especially because I have headphones on and we're in the middle of a conversation and it bit me and injected cyanide into my bloodstream, that's scary.
that is
I
serious.
think nanobots and bioweapons are scarier than super soldiers and nukes and shit because they're essentially, and it also says in the article, undetectable. It's untraceable.
Dude,
Like,
what if
think about
there's
any like murder show you've ever seen. It's always some large grandiose thing. It's not like, oh, we were sitting down for dinner and a mosquito flew in and bit him and he dropped dead. Because also, even as a third party, you wouldn't notice that. If a mosquito flew in right now for you, I wouldn't see it. Even if I
no?
was sitting next to you.
What
And even if I catch it, it's a
has
fucking
to be?
robot. What does that mean? Oh, mosquito. And then it just keeps flying because it's made out of God knows what.
Yeah,
Like,
what are my hands gonna be bleeding because of
yeah,
the
can you
wings?
can you crush a nanobot? I have no idea.
What we're talking about has to coincide, dude. They keep talking about how the next war is gonna be chemical warfare, if not online warfare, some shit like that.
Well, it's either going to be nuclear or bio,
So if it's bio and we now have and they're
or like
working
you
on
said, cyber, and all three are horrifying because they're very realistic things to happen.
so on our scale it would be bio. Now they have mosquitoes that can do this shit. They're working on it. Obviously, to counteract that, you're going to have your own mosquitoes, but what are you going to put on your soldiers? You're going to put a suit on your soldier that can probably detect when one of those mosquitoes enters a certain vicinity of your team or you.
I mean, then that's good for us, but I think if you have a fleet of poisonous mosquitoes, you don't really need soldiers at that
A
point. That's
fleet of
why,
poisonous mosquitoes that can't get through the suit that the soldier's wearing, so they can just mow them down with some sort of new created weapon that just melts whatever they're made of.
ooh, new thought. I wonder if they're affected by EMPs.
Mmm. Ooh.
Because then you don't need any sort of gear. You see a fucking little cloud of nanobots coming at you and just EMP them, and then you're good.
They'd have to make them resistant. I mean, they're. But how?
I mean, if they can make a bug
But
sized
how?
robot that you can fill with poison to assassinate people, I'm sure there's a way to get around EMPs.
Oh, they're. If yeah, no, there 100% has to be already.
Because also, like, EMPs are crazy, but they're almost outdated.
Yeah. This future is wild. I mean, remember when back in what was it, 2019, when people were making rumors that Billy Boy Gates was going to release the 150,000 mosquitoes down in Florida or Georgia to combat?
Okay, yeah, EMPs don't mean shit. I just Googled it, and there's already an existing thing you can purchase called an EMP shield that's military tested.
Oh, wow. Okay. Wow. Yep. Already outdated. Doesn't matter.
Oh, they make bags and shit? Damn.
That's what?
You could get an EMP proof backpack,
Hey now.
according to this random website when you Google EMP shield.
Better not be yanking my chain.
Oh, they're expensive though. $400.
Whoo.
You could get them for your phone.
Mm.
Those are slightly
Do I
cheaper.
really need that? I mean, because if my phone still works but the grid is down, does that fucking matter?
Nope. But
Exactly.
also, so the whole point I Googled this was because, like, let's say there's already one for your phone that's about, it's smaller than a pop socket based off what I'm looking at. You could definitely, if they're building robotic mosquitoes, you could scale that down, and then it doesn't matter.
It's GG's. Good luck. Nothing
Yeah.
nothing you do is gonna nope. Unless you have a suit of nanotechnology wrapped around you that is impenetrable. Good luck.
It's fucking crazy.
No longer. No longer are we gonna have to go anywhere. Have to send anybody. Because we're gonna have robots.
I mean, we kind of already do that
Now we're gonna have
with
tiny
like
robots.
drones and shit. But now essentially these are microscopic drones that are full of poison.
Just gonna have whole freaking plane, just their whole entire cargo containment full of these nano mosquitoes as they're flying over this area. Over the radio, all you hear is drop the load.
Dude,
All
that would
these
be horrifying.
all these nano mosquitoes come falling out of the
Imagine like
sky at you.
imagine like a C-130 that can carry like 6 tanks and 200 men is just full of mosquito-sized poisonous robots.
Dude, it's blacking out the sun.
At least wherever they're dropping it. Speaking of blacking out the sun, even though it didn't, totally gonna throw us off track, but we're getting deep and I'd love to hear your opinion on it. Did you see the video I sent you, that underwater volcano?
Bro, that was
This is a very
insane.
morbid episode of a couple blind spot, but
This is scientific
it
fun
should be talked
episode.
about. This is the fucking science section, bitches.
Yeah.
No, that volcano though, dude, I got into it. Like when I did wake up after I was like, sorry, I ruined all our plans. I went through like this Reddit thread of just different videos and like someone when because it erupted basically at sunset, and then someone once night passed. Also, there's tsunami warnings for every single country bordering the Pacific Ocean. which
Yep.
is insane. That's how big it was. But some dude went out the next day. I think it was the first video in the Instagram thing I sent you, which was like I think it was 2 videos. There's like the next day, like 12, 14 hours later, there's still a 12-mile high plume of just like toxic volcanic ash, dude. And you could see the fucking shockwave from space.
Those shot from space gave me it gave me a little chills.
I wish it
I'll
was
be
long.
honest.
I wish it was longer though. Cause you like once the shockwave expands and you can see like this fucking tsunami forming from fucking space, headed right towards Australia and California and probably a little bit Japan.
Yeah.
Like I wanted to see where it went, but like, dude, it disrupted like clouds.
I was about to say, did you? Yeah, the
Like the
clouds literally.
shockwave pushed the clouds apart, and then all you see is just this giant ash and fucking.
We are every single day, we are minutes away, seconds away from a natural disaster like that, ending half of life on Earth
Or all of it.
or all of it.
If that was a surface volcano, that probably would do. I don't know if it'd wipe out all of humanity, but like
Wherever it went,
I think whichever way the wind was blowing would have a lot of issues.
be a long winter.
Yeah, I
Be a
mean,
long winter. White Walkers would 1000% come.
oh yeah, I mean that's not on my 2022 bingo card, but I wouldn't be surprised at this point.
You know what is, and this is because now we're just on it. Apparently, there's a NASA found a meteor that is going to have a rather close pass by Earth.
We find those all the time though.
And someone pulled up.
Is it another like small chance that it might hit us and kill
I
everything?
couldn't find anything on it, but someone put next to it um that they drew the from the Illuminati card game, the meteor card. And it was the first card they drew for 2022.
Jesus.
I was like, well, that's
But that's happened plenty of times. Like I remember,
thousands of times.
but like
Not
the big
thousands.
ones where they're like, this might do. I mean, it happens thousands of times a day. Like there's shit flying past Earth now. But
Our
like,
big blue rock keeps us safe.
but the big ones where they're like, yeah, there's like a 15% chance this could be like a second dinosaur extinction. Like that happened a handful of times that I can remember. But also,
Yeah.
they would do some Armageddon, don't look up, but actually be successful shit. Like,
Dude, you watching that, because I guarantee you'd be able to see that. Watching that, whoa. Best
that would be one of the worst ways to die though. Just watching this thing just hurtling through the sky and then just like a fucking a daddy nuke. Just like
back on topic, because remember when you said they could put them in purses and handbags?
well, that's what
Almost.
this article said. It pocket sized or purse.
Dude, imagine accidentally bumping into someone who has the handbag on, just accidentally bumping into him walking by. Poof.
I mean,
Worst day ever.
luckily it's just like a more powerful like dynamite. Like it I mean, way more powerful. It says capable of an explosion equivalent to 100 tons of TNT. But
That
then
sounds
it
like a bad day.
then it goes on to say like it could like take out a large building or like a block. Like it wouldn't be. I mean, it would suck if you bumped into it and set it off because you're dead. But like if one went off in like Williamsburg right now, I'd be fine.
Oh yeah, we'd be set.
Well, you'd be set. You're fucking 20 miles away from me.
Who knows? The wind is a blowing though.
Oh, yeah, radiation. I wonder how much radiation they put out. The article didn't talk about that. But if they're tiny, it can't be like that much.
Who knows?
I don't. I don't know.
We got no idea. We're just going off of things that we read during our research to bring to you because we love you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of love, I love you, buddy. I'm sorry we couldn't be in person.
It's all right, dude. Things happen. You were boosted. Everyone knows you're doing the right thing, and it takes a toll.
Yeah.
There's a price to pay for doing the right thing, apparently.
But also we're deep, so I think that being said,
This has been
a couple pints pod.
It's Safe to Say.
My wallet is a nuclear warhead.